Welcome back to my Battlemap tutorial series. Today we are going to work on special effects for water, or just water effects I guess. I don't know if I'd call them special, but basically water effects. How to get, this type of image so it looks realistic. So this is basically my starting image where I've got the beach. So you can see basically again I've got the beach. With the different sand layers. I've gone through most of this stuff, so I'm not going to bother with that. Here's my shipwreck, and here's my rock. So first thing we want to do is get down to the water level. So if you know any of my templates, I've got lots of sand layers. Most of them are hidden, and then way down here I have my water layers. So I have 3 water layers. Basically a rushing water, a greenish water, and a water for ocean. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start applying to one of my sand layers is basically this guy. And let's actually get rid of this as well. So I'm going to apply a shadow mask to here. And again, this will probably be in broad strokes at this point, mainly because I'm going to be doing a large area of it. In fact, you could probably just go like this and at least that much, delete that layer mask and apply it. Oops, I always forget to invert that. So again, when you apply a layer mask with a selection, it hides everything but the selection. So we want to hide. I wanted to hide that selection. So in here as well. Let's delete that. Oops, layer mask as well. Okay, so we're going to do the same for here as well. Oops, actually we want to go down from this side. And I'm going to add layer mask. Okay, so then you see I have some dark sand down below. Because this is, whenever you look at the water, you always have a wet sand. If you just have light sand, it doesn't look as realistic, because again, when sand gets wet 90% of the time it gets darker. So that's what we have this darker sand for. So let's work on this shadow layer here. I'm going to select the layer and just go through it real quick. And so this is my rippled sand right here. Okay, so I'm going to want to get rid of, again, most of that. So again, I'm going to put up a little bit higher than normal flow, just so I can get rid of it quickly. Again, because you're not going to get these ripples much in right at the edges. This is usually after the sand dries with the windswept sand. So again, we're just going to go here. And you can always, once you do a hard, you can actually go back, and we'll actually do that in a second. And then inshore, I also don't have much wave effects. I may get a little bit there just for a little effects, but for the most part, we just don't want it in this deep. Let's actually get rid of that. Okay. And also I'm going to, I have a river here that I created. I believe I did. Nope. Sorry, that's old shadow. That should be gone. There we go. Okay, so let's go back to here. Go here. And then we're just going to go in a little bit lighter. So lower this down. And again, just make it a little bit more of a break there. And again, I don't like the entire texture. I like breaks in it, imperfections. Okay. Now we're going to go down and, whoops, looks like I rearranged these orders. Oops. There we go. Yeah. I assume I rearranged those orders. I don't. That's I saved that file. So now we're going to do similar to here. We're going to just up that a bit. And we're going to again. Oops. Go back. And we're going to make sure we select our mask. And so this is where we want our beach, where the waves will be crashing against the beach. So again, down in here where my ship is sunk, I definitely want to get rid of it. And I'm just going to go here. And as you can see, because of the high flow and high opacity, I'm getting streaks here. But again, you can go back and fix these up once you get the majority of the look and feel you want. So I'm just going to lower these down now to my 20 range. And you could do the whole thing in 20. It just takes longer. And again, I don't want to make this a super long video, but you could do you could set it under 30 for your whole thing, and then just lightly do it. And again, try and go at different angles because that'll help get rid of some of the streaking, or even in a circle. Also, you can adjust the brush size while you're doing this to get different effects for different layers. Okay, so there we go for that. And then next we're going to want to go down and work on our wet sand. So again, what you can do is just draw approximately where you want the wet sand to sort of start and then disappear. It doesn't matter up there that I missed that, but we'll just grab it anyways because that's off underneath the other layers. We're going to apply a layer mask, and there's our water. So again, what we want to do is we now want to fade this again into the water, and by fading it now makes it look like it's under the water. So again, I've gone over similar tutorials for streams and stuff in previous videos. So nothing really new here, just the process. Again, when you combine all these processes, it sort of makes it look realistic. Okay, so we got rid of the hard edge, which looks nice there. Okay, so then I'm not going to worry about, well, let's just go over the ship real quick. So here I have 3 different pieces of my, or actually it looks like I have 4 pieces. Yeah, 4 pieces of my boat. So I have the rear, I have this front, and then I have the center section. Okay. And I may do a video on how I created this boat. This is basically a boat wreck. But basically I want to apply I want to sink the entire boat. So I'm actually just going to apply it to the grouping. And by, again, creating groups, it allows me to, if you're reusing things, it allows me to reuse things easily without having to, drag over all the different layers. So again, what you want to do is just sort of hide that, and you can see it sort of gets submerged. We're going to do we're going to make this a little bit more submerged, because again, that's a little bit deeper. And then we're going to make this partially submerged here. Okay, now you can see we've got a hard line here. So I believe, let's find where that is. That's on one of my sand layers, I believe. Possibly there or there. Let's actually hide the boat. That's right there. So it looks, yeah, it's a sand layer right there. So again, we're just going to go back. Obviously, I missed some brushing there. We're just going to hide that. Nice and easy, nothing hard to do. Okay, so again, go back, get to our boat. Boat wreck, there we go. And then, so again, right here, whoops, trying on the wrong layer. Right here, by, only submerging part of this, it looks like I did it a little bit too dark right in there. So let's zoom in. I'm going to brush that with white to unhide it. This is probably because it's way too high for doing this level of detail. So again, this is sticking out of the water, and this is just submerged. This is deeper at the bottom, and then this is again, you know, a little bit higher. Okay, so that's basically how you do the boat. I'm going to submerge this or fade that a little bit more. Okay, and so there's our boat. Now again, for the rocks, I've got, basically I started with one rock. All the rocks in this picture are actually the same exact rock. The reason for this is it's hard for me to find what looks like, I call water lava rocks or stuff. Also to get them with the same coloring, though you can do match coloring if you find the same textures, and also the same shadow facing. So what I did was I just took this one rock, and basically I will duplicate the layer and then just move him around, and let's make sure we get these in somewhat. So I have two there, and one back by the boat. So first I'll get this guy back here, and I'm going to resize him, okay, just to get him approximate size. Okay, oops. Now you'll also notice he is underneath the boat, so when I click on the boat I actually move up, but I just want the rock. Now I'm actually going to use a tool we're going to be using, which is the main, I guess, feature of today, which is the warping of objects. So again, I can take this and change this a bit by grabbing the different handle points and start to get a different rock. Oops, that looks like it was a little bit too much. Here, and go from here. And then we're going to apply a layer mask to that specific rock. Let's actually zoom down in. And we're going to be on the layer mask. Then we're just going to hide. Obviously, we're going to hide the rock underneath the boat. And then we're going to hide the edges because it's underwater. Okay, so we'll actually just boost that way up there, get that quick. So that hides the rock underneath the boat. We'll just get those edges. Down a bit and get these edges. So again, I try and get rid of the hard edges because it looks not natural most of the time. Okay. And I'll start to submerge this, and so I'll just leave the top of this out. Okay, trying to submerge the rest of it. So basically this is one of the rocks that it crashed up on the boat. Okay, and I'll go and do that for each of these rocks. So again, if you look at this, it's slightly different. In fact, it looks like I actually turned this the wrong angle because the sun side's facing off to this side. But again, still looks good there. And for that, so I'll repeat that for all these different rocks. I'm not going to go through that because again, it's the same process that I just did for that. So the last part here that I sort of want to go over are the waves. Okay, now to do that, you basically got to find some waves. Wave texture. Okay, I'm actually going to go beach. Why am I typing wrong? There we go. So again, you get pretty girls. So here again, what we're looking for is wave textures. And you want to grab something that's, you know, sort of hitting a beach. So again, see how it's getting darker underneath the wave and stuff like that. This is good. This is probably not so much because it's a little bit too forward. Again, too forward. This is probably a good one. Again, you want things with high contrast. So here's a good one. This is actually one I think I did. So what you want to do is you want to convert those into overlays. I have a whole video tutorial on overlays. I'm not going to go through it right now because again, that's a tutorial in itself. But if I go into my overlays directory, as you can see, lots of overlays. Down here I have a whole bunch of wave overlays once they finally load. So you can see I have different ones. This one, there's a stream. Let's go wave there. And let's just go with those three. Actually, we'll grab that one too. So again, these are overlays that I created from different wave textures. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab those and move one or two of them into, you don't really need a whole bunch of them, into my video, or into my layers. Okay, and I'm going to put that actually above most of the other guys. So as here, you can see I've already got a waves folder. In fact, here, hold that. If I hide that guy, these are my existing waves, as you can see. So I'm just going to create a new folder here called Waves 2. And I'm just going to drop that wave into there, make him visible. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of these hard edges. This may not be a good one because he's got a bit of a hard edge. So basically I'm losing a lot of this image here. So let's actually get rid of that guy. Let's find one that goes perpendicular. Okay, so this is a good one right here because it goes from side to side. I don't have to shadow. This isn't bad, and this one's not bad. But I think this is the highest contrast. So let's grab that guy instead. Okay. And then you just want to switch him around. Okay, so usually the frothy side is towards the front. Okay, and you go like that. And so again, what I want to do is, first thing I want to do is get rid of those hard edges. So again, what I'm going to do is apply a layer mask initially and just get rid of all my hard edges. Because again, you really don't want hard edges in your image. It just takes away from the realism, because very little in nature is there straight hard edge. Okay, and I'm actually going to go across the back. I'm going to increase this flow a little bit for the back. Okay, decrease this again down to here, do the side. Because I want to try and use as much as I can of this. I don't want to erase too much of it. Okay, and then we'll just see this hard edge there. I'm just going to increase that again. And quickly go across the forward edge. So even that by itself, so again, if you zoom out, fit the whole screen, it's not bad in of itself. But if you want the whole rough wave, that's fine. You can repeat it, duplicate it, and then bend it. So right here, it's sort of hitting the back of the boat. It wouldn't necessarily be cruising over. So the boat is sort of interfering with the wave. The wave probably crashed earlier because of the depth. So again, what we're going to do is go into warp. We're just going to go into here, sort of pull that guy back a little bit. Okay. So again, he's just starting to crash over. And then, actually, I don't want to duplicate that. I want to go back to my original, or I can get another one and duplicate him here. So again, normally, the waves equal all the way across, so all along here. So this end of the wave should logically be here, or flowing into here. I'm actually going to stretch him out just so he covers this whole area right here. Okay, and so again, you're going to go into edit and transform warp, and then so this edge of the wave should be forward. This is crashing against this rock, and we haven't shadowed this rock yet, but we will. And then again, this side over here is again sort of hitting this rock. Actually, let's pull that guy back and then forward this in. Okay. So again, you see we got a little gap here. I'm actually going to try and fit that right at the rock there. So this guy, I'm going to stretch him a little bit more. And then I'm going to warp him again. And we're just going to pull him back. Okay, so their edges line up. And then over here I sort of have a gap. So again, I'm going to warp him again. And just say, hey, make sure you touch your neighbor. Be friendly. Okay. So again, I've got my first wave sort of crashing in. Now right here you can see it's sort of flashing over the edge of the rock. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to that layer and we're just going to zoom in and then just apply a little bit of a mask here just so it sort of, you know, hits the rock, or you can see the rock and it's sort of hitting the rock. Flow. Nope, I think that's actually this guy. Sorry. It's this guy, that's why we're not getting it. There we go. Yep, I was on the wrong shadow mask. So again, went a little bit too heavy there. Right here. And there's our flow. So again, that's the flow. And then basically you just sort of want to repeat that. Again, you may want to use different waves. Because again, not every wave is the same. So again, here, this is more towards the beach. And so again, well, first thing I'll do is make sure I have no hard edges. Okay, so apply a layer mask and then get rid of all these hard edges. And I may get rid of, you know, like a lot of this because it really isn't doing anything here. So let's actually just boost that guy up, increase our size. Back corners. I believe it's right along there. Let's just confirm that. Yeah, so you can see it right along here. So again, just hide it. Okay, so that gives us our basic wave, and then again we can bend and warp it. So again, logically the wave should sort of go like this around here, and there really shouldn't even be a wave rolling there. So I'll duplicate that. I may flip it or stretch it just so it's not the exact same on both sides, otherwise you get a nice pattern artifact and you can sort of see it. Let's just stretch this, and then I'll take a copy of the original again. And then I'm going to shrink him down and go into here. Okay. Okay, so again, what I'm going to do is over here, again, the wave should be rolling along the side of the rock. So what I'm going to do is again go into my Edit Transform Warp and just pull this back. So it's sort of like this. Oops. Wrong corner. So again, there's the wave running along the edge. And I got to remember, I'm going to be hiding the hard edge here. I'll do that next for this wave. And so again, it's flowing over the boat, so it may be a little curve there as well. Okay. But you can see we can sort of bend and shape our waves to the objects in here. So let's, oops, back to this guy. Oh, this layer right here, we'll warp him to line him up with the other guy. So again, we want our edges over here to sort of line up. This again is sort of flowing late over the rock, or the boat, sorry. And then over here we look pretty good. Okay. So and again, and logically I would want one more wave way over here on this side, which will be mostly off the screen, but I'll just do the edge. Transform, warp. And again, we're just, he's running just along the edge. So again, let me apply the gauche or fading for this guy so it looks a little bit more realistic. And we'll start out heavy because again I want to get rid of the heavy edges real quick. Or the sharp edges, I should say. Okay, then I'll drop it down. Go deeper into the rock. So again, this wave here needs to be adjusted slightly because again, it would logically be running right along the edges of the rock. Okay, same with this guy there. You know, so basically it hasn't gotten around, the wave hasn't gotten around because again, it'll meet back up. So again, we can do a similar thing and put waves along the beach. Now this one, you don't want it because this is more of a receding one. This one I'm actually going to fade a little bit because again, it's not as rough as the other ones. So again, I'm going to make a copy of that. I'm going to actually just angle him slightly because again, just found the edges of the beach. This guy is there, and I'm actually going to make this guy the full width. Okay, so now again we'll just go into warp, which is I guess the tutorial for today. Actually, let me get zoomed in close. And we're going to go warp again, transform, warp. And so that's again rolling up the beach and rolling down over here. So it's again, it's rolling past the edges of the boat or coming in after the boat. So this guy, again, we'll warp him. Okay, and then just do this a little bit here. We'll bring that guy out a little bit. Contour, and then we'll have to do the same to here to make these two sides match up, or you should. There we go. So again, there you go. It's not the exact same, obviously, as I did. I obviously put a lot more waves in here. I've got a couple that are just going in here. I've got one that's riding high on the beach here. You know, but again, this doesn't look bad, and I'm missing a couple rocks here as well to again contour. But that's pretty much it, and it also, obviously, I'm missing one full wave over here. And we can just go like this, and then warp him a little bit. Okay, and there we go. So that's pretty much it for doing waves. Obviously, I'd want one more wave up here because the waves are cresting this high. That's because we got the dark wet sand up here and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it for the water effects. As you can see, I really don't have anything else different. Just a couple more rocks and the waves. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Bye.